graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Hit it, guys. I'm not that Chris. I look just like him, but I'm not that Chris. Not Pratt or Hemsworth, I'm a different guy. Not Evans either, look, I'm my own cool vibe.
It's just a coincidence that you were talking about the Jack and Triumph show, and I'm here. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, guy who makes all those unlistenable podcasts over at smodcast.com, and you're listening to the Two Strangers, One Podcast. This is podcasting.
You're listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes or on the Stitcher app for Android devices. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net. Now, here's Chris Cologne and Paul Pasquillo.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
And like I just said a second before the show, don't come to me after I'm fucking dead. Don't fucking do that Facebook bullshit like, he was such a good friend of mine and I loved him so much and I listen to his podcast all the time. Don't do that shit. So...
I probably will do that shit.
Well, I mean, you're on the show. Obviously, you've listened to the podcast, but don't go like, oh, he was such a good friend and he was so entertaining and so
No, I'm
fun.
going to be like, here lies Christopher Cologne, who I just stole the podcast
He
from.
probably. I still want my tombstone to say he probably didn't like you. Here lies Chris Cologne. Not that you're going to come visit because he didn't even fucking say hi when he was alive. Thank you very much. I got real dark real quick.
Yeah, what is this, Darkest Sketch or something?
We were being.
What is going on with you?
Silly right
Listen,
the
folks. Do not ever feed Chris Cologne
Don't
Mountain
feed me
Dew.
after midnight. And I'm going to be buzzing for like...
Dude, like,
Well, this
I don't
was-
know what is going on with you.
I was on the way to Paul's house, and I said, let me get... Well, actually, no, I had to go to... Okay, here's the deal. I went to Walmart today, and I bought a pair of sneakers.
Oh, my God.
Generally, like, $20 sneakers.
Really?
Yes. But these sneakers rang up for $3. And so what happened was, all right, so that was on my lunch break. I said, let me go to Walmart and get some stuff. I went to go buy a pair of sneakers, just cheap sneakers, because I know I'm going to beat them up and stuff like that. And so they rang up for $3. And I went back to Walmart after work, and I was looking to see if I could find any more of those sneakers, because they weren't marked $3. But for whatever reason, I don't know what the hell. I gotta look at them. But they had, like, they rang up not even as sneakers. They rang up as like athletics or some shit like that. And I give my hand to God. I'm not that kind of person. I don't steal or switch tags or anything like that. But it rang up for $3. So I ran back to Walmart to see if I could find. And then I took them all to like the little test scanners that they have.
Yeah.
So all of them were back to regular price, like $20. So I was so fucking mad. I don't know what happened, but hey,
Maybe it was like an error, and then they're like, fuck.
Yeah, I think what it is, people keep buying all these sneakers. And so I said, so before I left the Walmart, I said, okay, let me just buy some Mountain Dew, which I brought to Paul's house, right? And then Paul has Reese's peanut butter cups or whatever.
Really, we're
in his
gonna bitch
fridge,
about this.
And he sits and eats the whole fucking bag right in front of me, a guest in his house. Now, mind you, he didn't know I had bought the Mountain Dew for him. And I had it in the fridge when I walked in the door because he was sleeping when I got here. So then
I was sleeping a little bit.
No, well, I can.
And I
It's
was
your day
getting
off. I'm
attacked.
not teasing you for sleeping, but
It wasn't my day off. It
and
was.
or you're in between or whatever. You have time to sleep. But I put the Mountain Dews in the fridge,
So I had
and
a
then we're sitting there and we're
conversation
watching TV, and then Paul's just eating this fucking, just shoving fucking Reese's peanut butter cups in his mouth. See, and then I go, and then by the way, then right before we come downstairs to record, I'm like, look what I got, and it wasn't like just the one for me; it was one for him too. I thought about him. It's the fucking thought that counts, and but
What is wrong with you?
I'm really, I don't know. Well,
Is this? Are you happy to be here? Is that what's going on?
I'm trying to get the energy up for the podcast. It's like, I listen to the podcast and they always start strong, and I want them to finish strong. I want them to stay. I want people to be engaged because actually, our numbers have gone down.
I always finish strong.
I mean, I know it's supposed to be Dr. Evil, but
That's sleep deprived right there.
And so I didn't. our numbers have been going down, and I don't know.
Well, see, I haven't kind of introduced you to a website called Podtrack yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to you have to go to Podtrack and set it up. It's free. And then you can track Stitcher. It's Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud. Is that all we're on? Or are we on something else?
We're on the Google Play Store.
That might track that
and
too.
The and SoundCloud, but that's
right.
That's the whole thing
SoundCloud.
is that but SoundCloud has like the downloads. I mean, just when you go look at our page,
right. But what happens is because the SoundCloud
lets you know where it comes from.
Right. So basically, what happens is like the stream RSS feed that you send, which it goes to iTunes, it goes back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is it goes when you look at Podtrack, it actually sees the numbers, so you can track how much you're doing. Like my podcast does about on a weekly basis does between at least with all of it about 1,000 to 2,000 plays and downloads. So, but that's because, and the only reason I can see that is because it's, I can use Podtrack. So.
But it's just like, a lot of my friends are online, and a lot of people kind of have their own thing. And I have a friend that does like workout videos.
If I had my phone, because it's right here, I could see if it's on Overcast, but I think everything's on Overcast.
And then, well, I'm just saying is that like there's a lot of friends of mine that do their own like online thing, and I've sort of made it open, like if anybody wants to come on the show or promote whatever they want. And then on the flip
Did
side,
you just say, "Come on the show"?
Yeah, what? I don't get that reference.
I don't know. I just want to do that. I don't know.
But
I'm losing my mind.
It's like our numbers have dwindled, and I know like you used to have your website. I know your website used to kind of like autoplay the episodes, but then like you revamped the website.
Geeky didn't change. That's where it's coming from.
Oh,
it's still on there. It's still on there. I just don't know. Like not a lot. I mean, that site doesn't get as much traffic as ToonamiFaithful.com does, but I think it would be a little weird if I just like randomly went, "Oh look, Two Strangers One Podcast is on ToonamiFaithful.com."
Yeah, well, I don't. It's just our numbers have been going down, and I don't know if we've been doing something wrong. Was it guest hosts that we had in the past couple months that helped brought the numbers down? I mean, Oscar, our number one fan, hasn't even written us in a while. What do I got to do to get you people to listen? I mean, obviously, anyone listening right now is obviously listening, or anyone watching.
We got to sacrifice.
Maybe it's because it's all the fucking noise in the background that people don't like.
Maybe we got to sacrifice somebody live on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean,
Come here, Chris.
What do we got to do? What do I got to do? What do I got to do to get you to love me, people? What do I got to do?
So, yeah, let's move on.
What do I got to do?
Let's move on. Get away from the camera.
But I mean, this is the podcast, and it is, and I guess like recently, like I've added a lot of family members have found me on Facebook.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of my family members being on Facebook. Well, I don't care. No, they could be on Facebook. Don't follow me on Facebook. Like, and I love my family, and I guess it's always good to know if there's stuff that's going on. But it's just like because like on Saturday I had taken my daughter to this place called Altitude, which is it's a trampoline park. I guess for those people who don't know, I guess the more famous one is called Sky Zone, and it's sort of like it's trampolines, and they have like what's called like extreme volleyball, where you can bounce on a trampoline and throw a ball at each other, and they have
There's
like
so many
tumbling areas. And a big pits filled with foam cubes, and so my daughter was doing the rock climb.
Which one were you at?
This one's Altitude in Henrietta.
Oh, okay. It's in the old. For those of you that know Henrietta, Southtown Plaza. It's in the old Media Play building.
Well, that being said, Henrietta is a place that can be reached by public transportation.
So who's being racist now?
And that being said,
wait. Who's being racist?
I'm just stating the fact that unlike Sky Zone, because Sky Zone's in the middle of fucking nowhere, and you can't get to Sky Zone unless you have a car.
Between Gates and Greece, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there before, but I just put in my GPS, and my GPS.
Yeah,
never got
it's.
there. But then that being said, we go and we go to Altitude on a Saturday night, and
Wrong move.
it was just the wrong kind of crowd, and you got teenagers, and it's like you got the people who are working there telling the teenagers to like pull up their pants, and teenagers are like running around, and they're using like the trampolines like to fight and wrestle and stuff like that. And I hate when people do that shit. And it's always the same situation. It's always like a little skinny, scrawny motherfucker starts a fight with a bigger guy and then runs.
Yeah.
And then runs but not looking where he's going, just trying to like tease the bigger guy and run away. And I'm like, I'm here with my fucking 6-year-old daughter, and these fucking assholes are just running, in the same direction as my daughter, where my daughter's running, and I'm like, if you even come close to my fucking daughter, I'm gonna fucking rip your fucking head off. So, but that being said, I go, and so I encourage my daughter to go climb the rock wall, and it's over like a pit of foam cubes. So if she falls in the cubes, and she did, like, she was doing it on purpose. She purposely climbed the wall so she can fall back into the cubes, and so that was Saturday night before Mother's Day. Then I call my mom on Mother's Day, and she's like, "Oh, I heard Raven was over the rock wall." Like my family's already going back reporting to my fucking mom about what the fuck is going on in my life. And I look, and I know I make fucking dick jokes and fart jokes and masturbation jokes, and like, and May is National Masturbation Month, so
Why did you bring that up?
It's national, so when you should be fapping, you should be fapping. It's good for you. It helps the prostate. I mean, I know for men it helps your prostate. It helps, clean your pipes. It's good for, jerking off is good for you because it feels good.
You can make kids.
It keeps you from making kids. It keeps.
Well,
you from,
I mean, depends on what you do.
If you jerk off before a date, you won't fucking be like all like jumping on top of a woman. It relieves stress.
Depends on how hot the woman is.
It's totally free. Well, I'm saying if you're out with an ugly broad, you're not going to jump on top of her. But at least if you jerk off before a date, and so I know I make jokes like that. I make jerk off jokes. And I don't want fucking people reporting this shit back to my mom. Like, I know it's on Facebook and I know it's out live or whatever, but, okay, you see it. Then you see it and shut the fuck up about it. Don't fucking tell my mom about it.
Yeah, but what, your mom's not gonna... What? Okay.
I mean, my mom is really... my mom is... Conservative's not the right word. My mom is very straight-laced. But,
Did your mom yell at you for having Raven on the wall?
No, she just like, I heard she was on the wall. I'm like, how the fuck did you hear? You know what I'm saying? And what she heard was because one of my family members told her. And it's like, stop talking my fucking business if you're not fucking, and I don't want this to start a rift with my family if they are listening to the podcast.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't have brought this up, but if you didn't want that, but I mean, I don't see it being a problem unless, like, they're like, well, Chris was talking about masturbation on the podcast the other day when he was doing it. Yeah, that's when maybe you should be like, all right, you guys got to stop following me.
Yeah.
That's when you should say something. Not like when she sits there, she was on the wall. I thought that shouldn't annoy you, dude. Yeah. See, sometimes, my friend, you take things a little too much, and I want to, like, just be like, simmer down now. But simmer. Take the pass, throw it down now for the touchdown or whatever. I can't do the Tobey Maguire one, but it was awesome. Anyways, so yes, you just need to simmer down. But getting back to the whole trampoline thing, if I may, you got to understand something. These kids have nothing to do now. It's either you go to the trampoline park, you go to the movies. Trying to think what else there is.
There's Chuck E. Cheese.
There's miniature golf too, or the go karts. So the problem is that everything's expensive, and basically these parents are looking for just a way to drop their kids off and leave. And I guarantee you, where you were at, they probably just dropped their kids off and left and went wherever. Yeah. And then they'll come back and pick them up. That's what happens, honestly. Yeah. If I'm being honest with you, because guess what, you can't drop your kids off in the movie theater because I'll throw them right back out. Yeah. Oh, your kid's 16. I'm sorry, there's a curfew. Get out.
Well, that's the whole thing is that you go to a place like Altitude or whatever, and it's a Saturday night, and all the kids, and it's kids working there.
Yeah.
And don't be wrong, the kids are trying to do their job, but a kid is a kid. A 16-year-old girl can't tell, a 20-year-old guy, stop running. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she could, but she's intimidated. She's at work. And it's just, and I feel bad for the people that work there. I mean, I know it's one of those jobs you get in high school and you use it to get some pocket money so you can go and fucking buy nice sneakers or whatever.
Think about this though. Think about this. If you know where Sutherland. Sutherland, you know what Sutherland is.
The other
it's over there. It's over down there, right?
Everybody in Rochester has worked in Sutherland.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious because there's an Outback Steakhouse in that parking lot. But what's really interesting about that is that used to be a kids' nightclub, or a guy used to. So little history lesson for those of you that live in Rochester. The Sutherland building used to be what was called Keldor. Remember Keldor's? It was like a Kmart or whatever. So
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be gross. I gotta my belt is digging into my stomach. I gotta open it. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm not at work right now.
Not on the podcast and not live on Facebook.
Not live on Facebook. If I gotta pull my dick out, I'll get you guys to watch and listen.
No, actually, they probably wouldn't listen. Oh. I'm kidding. But anyways, so I kind of lost my train of thought. So
Caldor's.
Yeah, Caldor's was there, and then this guy came in. He wanted to put a kids' nightclub in. Which, here's the problem. Kids come in, and here's the problem. They come in from the city. They just get dropped off at this kids' nightclub, and then fights break out, and it just chaos, and then they get shut down. Mm-hmm. It's happened several times, and that's why we can't have anything that's good anymore because. And look, I'm not trying to be racist. I swear to God, but you get these kids from the city that are just very undisciplined, and their parents don't teach them right from wrong and how to act, and they come in and they purposely start fights, literally, the Grease Carnival.
Well, that's what they find entertaining. And let me tell you, I mean, not to cut you off, you mentioned right now in Rochester there's a thing called the Lilac Festival, because we have the lilac trees, and around this time of this year they all blossom.
Lilac.
It's lilac. Lilac.
Whatever.
Lilac Festival.
But
it's one of those days,
continue.
route, pause. And now they finally started enforcing. The cops are there at every entrance.
I think it was there last year.
And it's a traditional festival, you got the little, goofy rides, and you got the fucking meth heads operating the rides.
Food trucks.
And the food trucks, and then there's live music, and then, you can technically buy beer inside the festival. You can't take the beer out. The cops will stop you. You can't bring beer in. It's funny, you can't bring food in. And they charge you $8 for a fucking hot dog. But I mean, that's what a street fair festival thing is. And the cops had it with the fucking kids coming and creating a problem for everybody people who just want to come and enjoy their time, with their kids or their families or whatever. So now they're just turning kids away. You can't go there. You have to have.
It's exactly what we do at the movie theater. They have to be 17 or up. They have to provide an ID. And here's something that I really like, and I think they should add to our curfew. One parent can only bring 5 kids in. So I was just like, that's really fucking awesome. I would love to do that, because there's sometimes where a parent will bring in 10 to 15 kids, and I'm just sitting there rolling my eyes really?
Yeah, they're babysitting in the whole fucking neighborhood.
So, I mean, basically to bring this all back around, what I was saying is the problem is for example, there used to be a carnival at Grease Ridge Mall. What they would do is these kids would come. They would actually put this up on Facebook, and you would know because all of a sudden this big group would form. Mm-hmm. And they're just a big group of kids. And there would be nothing going on until all of a sudden 2 people come in the middle and start fighting.
Yeah.
So
they're arranging fights online.
Oh, I guess Shasha really wants to see you. So it's very. It's just very hard to do things here in Rochester when we have those kinds of situations. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not surprised that there's teens at these, at the trampoline park. So, you know, I don't know what good can be done, honestly, but it is what it is. And you know what? The guys at the front door are doing this. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah, because you think everybody's in there is $10 a head. It's a big place. It's a big...
Was there security?
I mean, there were... I would probably say there were probably 2 people there that were over the age of 40 that looked like they worked there. Everyone else was teenagers.
Well, that was either the owners. I mean, pretty much if there's a security guard there, they have a shirt that says security.
No, but I'm saying there's no guy at the door. And I did see a girl wearing a security shirt. Well, once again, I mean, could be no older than 18 years old with a security shirt. And then the funny thing is that, and she was doing her job, but I see her friends, and the friends are like, "You really security?" You know, and it's sort of, I'm just saying is, you know, I don't know, you can't have nice things because then fucking people come and ruin it, and then my family goes and runs to my mom about it. So, all right,
we're gonna do some therapy later.
Yeah. I got food poisoning the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
I got bad food poisoning. And
Where'd you get it? Where'd you eat? Okay,
so at my job, where I work, they have like a pretty halfway decent, like a pantry almost. It's not. I mean, actually, it's not even like vending machines. They have coolers and freezers and.
I was gonna say you didn't eat like a vending machine sandwich.
Well, I did. I did in a way.
Have you not seen Futurama?
I'll get to that in a moment. So all right, no, so it's all out in the open because we're the only ones who work there. You need a fucking ID to even to walk into place. You need your thing around your neck, and there's cameras, and then you ring yourself out. You know, it's like a computer screen, and you scan it, and you know. So I had gotten basically a fake McRib. You know those like it's like a spare rib sandwich or whatever, but it's obviously like fake meat molded to look like spare rib. And I didn't microwave it. I ate it straight from the fucking cooler. Like, I opened it from the cooler.
What is wrong with you?
Because I was really hungry. And I'm really fat.
You can't take the... No, wait a minute. You can't take the extra 2 seconds.
I was hungry.
God.
Well, that's the whole thing. I thought, okay, you know, let me eat it, whatever. And then... So then, like, I'm at work, and I just feel like I feel like there's that pressure in your chest, and it's building up your neck and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't feel too good. And then it goes down, and I'm like, and I made it all through the day at work, even though I felt like shit. So then I go home, and, you know, hours later, whatever, like, actually, like, fell asleep, I tried to fall asleep. I was rolling, tossing, and turning. I get up, boom, the diarrhea. You know, I go, and I'm shitting. So then I finish shitting. You know, you gotta love it. Maybe this is why people don't like this podcast. So I finish shitting, you know, I wipe, you know, flush the toilet, whatever. Then I go, my stomach goes, no, now you're gonna throw up now. So I go back towards the toilet, and I don't know what happened. I like blacked out. I landed, my head broke the glass of the mirror, broke the glass of the window of my bathroom. I woke up like with my shoulder on the fucking toilet. I don't know what happened. I totally fucking blacked out.
Did you puke?
Well, that's the whole thing. I threw up a little bit, and it was in the toilet. But I don't know if it was the pressure of throwing up so bad, or like, you know, that it fucking cut off oxygen or something like that. I blacked out.
What?
See, and that's what's gonna happen if I fucking died. You just like, Chris, I haven't seen Chris on Facebook for a couple of days. Let's go. I'm covered in vomit on my fucking toilet. But yeah, from food poisoning, and only for the cat would have fucking started eating my toes or something like that. But so I blacked out, and I have like cuts on my head from where I hit the glass. I blacked out, and I felt like shit. I couldn't go to work. I called out from work for the whole day, and I'm like. And I kept saying, like, all right, I'm going to rest a little more and I could go to work. I'll just rest and I'll go to work. And it was time for work, and I was like, fuck that. I can't go anywhere. I stood perfectly still for like 24 hours. I didn't eat a fucking thing. I didn't want to eat a thing. You know, I think I had like a banana in like 24 hours.
Potassium.
Yeah, potassium and stuff like that. And I had, like, when I finally did go to work, sometimes my work they have like food for people. And so I had like fruit salad. And, you know, I was able to kind of get that down. But I mean, that's my fault. That's what I get for being a fat bastard. But, you know, so that was...
You probably weren't drinking Mountain Dew that day.
No, I wasn't drinking I could barely fucking get watered down. I don't
Oh my
wish
God,
that.
dude, Jesus.
Yeah, so that was my whole Wednesday. I basically said, hey, and the fucking heat finally comes out.
So moral of the story, make sure you microwave some shit.
Moral of the story, don't buy cold sandwiches.
By the way, if a sandwich that you didn't microwave makes you black out, there's a problem. Don't get any more sandwiches out of the vending machine.
Well, yeah, and this whole thing is I can't blame anybody. It's not like, I'm going to go to the people, I'm going to sue them. Well, no, this was totally my fault. I totally ignored the instructions.
By the way, you're not Fry from Futurama. It won't make you smart.
Well, that's, yeah. I won't have...
Those of you that know what I'm talking about, awesome. Those of you that don't, I feel bad for you. Yep, that's me beating somebody on the other side of the wall.
Oh, that's your dishwasher?
No, that's the neighbor's probably washer.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So that happened on Wednesday. So let's.
That's distracting you, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is throwing me off. But okay, I mean, we don't want to get deep into the politics, but fucking motherfucking Trump, firing the FBI director in such an obviously.
I actually want to talk about this. Actually, that now that you've given me the window, I might as well talk about it.
And such a disgustingly blatant abuse of authority. And it's like, I can't believe, like, how can you be any more obvious? And then, like, the next day meeting with, like, Russian ambassadors. I mean, like, Trump is just giving a big giant fuck you. Like if everything else he hasn't done so far hasn't already been like, fuck you, you know, you're going to fire the person that's investigating you and then blame it on, like, the Hillary thing. Like, oh, we didn't like the way you handled Hillary.
Oh, please let me talk. Please. Let me have the floor on this one. Right. So, I am not the biggest fan of the FBI director. I think that what he did during the election was actually, to be honest, was illegal. They were actually still doing their review of what he did, actually, so they hadn't even come out with that yet. I don't think they are going to do anything because, well, now he's not the FBI director, so what does it matter?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's the middle of the election. I can't say anything now.
Oh, that when he was in that hearing, like a day or two before Trump fired him, I was so pissed. Like, he's sitting there, he's like, well, if you were in my position, what would you have done? I would have looked at him straight in the eye and said, hey, dumb fuck. I would have waited till the election was over and then said something to Congress. By the way, at that point, did you or did you not know if that had anything to do with Hillary Clinton at all? Well, we didn't know if it had anything to do with it. And ultimately, what happened? It had nothing to do with the investigation. Yeah. Exactly. No new emails, no nothing. So you fucked up. I was so pissed that day. And I'm sitting there like, oh, why isn't this guy fired? And then Trump fires him the like 2 days later. And I'm just like sitting there going, okay, I did want him fired, but I didn't want him fired yet. Like, I wanted him to complete the Russia investigation, and then he can go then he can like resign or get shot by somebody, or somebody can, I don't know, blow up his car while he's in it. I don't see.
You're saying, you know, that
I'm venting because I don't like the fact that this guy did something that no other FBI director did, and he destroyed an election. I mean, it's people will sit here and go, no, Paul, that didn't happen. But dude, all the polls showed that this woman was ahead, and all of a sudden Trump's the winner. Yeah. And you can see that from the popular vote that she was ahead, you know, so it had to have been him. It had to have been what he said, you know. So, that part pissed me off. But here's the thing, like I was saying to Jody, the Megas XLR, one of the creators there, on Facebook, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, because it's like, yeah, I was so pissed off that he did all that shit to Hillary, and yeah, he should be fired. And notice, by the way, Hillary didn't say anything on Twitter about this. I don't think she said anything public about this either. But I think that it's not, I mean, because he was doing the Trump investigation too, it was kind of like, huh. And then we're finding out over these next couple days, including today, that Trump brought him in before he did this, I guess, at a dinner, and said, I want you to pledge your loyalty to me. And he's like, no, I won't do that. I will, I'll be honest with you because that's who I am, but I'm not going to sit there and, whatever. So that's ultimately why I fired him, because he wasn't going to be loyal to him in the way that some of these other people are, because they all suck his dick.
They put party before country.
And, it's... I just... These Republicans are just not understanding that... And I know, I'm not stupid, guys. I know you're behind the scenes. There was an article about it a couple months ago that you talked to one of the reporters and you said, you're like, underneath your breath, you were sitting there saying, look, yeah, we're going to be behind Trump because he's the leader of our party, but I want you to know that we're waiting for him to fuck up so we can put Mike Pence in the driver's seat. Mm-hmm. And I get that's what they're trying to do. But even you guys got to start stepping up to the plate. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go too far into this, but voting for the healthcare law fucked you guys. I mean, you guys got to see. Did you see that video I put up of that one guy, that one nurse?
The guy that he was talking about his wife has cancer and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh my God, that guy should run for president. Dude, like, it was just so like I was like, first of all, I thought it was fake. I honestly thought that guy was fake because of the way he was talking. I'm like, this guy's got to be fake. There's no way. And then CNN posted it, and I went, fuck, it is real. Okay. I'm like, damn. All right. And here's the thing. Here's the smart thing that some Democrats are doing, and every Democrat that wants to run and take a seat from a Republican to do. They're coming in when these Republicans refuse to show up at the rally that, that was planned. And the Democrat shows up and says, well, he's not here. I'm here. Let's talk. Mm-hmm. Smartest fucking thing I've ever seen in my whole life, Chris. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to win this election, if you want to take back the White House, guess what? You should start fucking doing that. Fuck Bernie Sanders. Yeah, I'm not a fan of him right now, honestly. Like, he literally says, oh, well, I don't like the fact that Obama took $400,000 for a speech. I'm like, bitch, he's a private citizen. How is he supposed to support himself? Oh, by the way, 2 days later, they announced that he's donating $2 million to a summer job program in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Let's see. $400,000, $2 million. So now Bernie Sanders looks like an idiot. So does Elizabeth Warren. What I'm trying to say here is we need to start getting this fuck out of the office. Today, it came out in the Washington Post that he gave classified information to the Russians, apparently, without like being like, oh, this is how ISIS and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there going, what the fuck? Do you just, like, it's like this guy thinks he's in a TV show. Yeah. Literally, he thinks he's in a TV show, and he's like, you know what? How much more can I do to get more attention on me? Yeah. And it just... Can we just impeach this guy already? Yeah. Like, seriously. Like, and here's the kicker about the whole situation. I'm sure you were going to talk about this too. Mm-hmm. Jeff Sessions, who recused himself from any investigation with Russia because he talked to... the ambassador of Russia or whatever that's to the U.S. Mm-hmm. Because he talked to him and didn't say anything, he recused himself. He went with his assistant to Trump and said we should fire the FBI director. And now he's conducting a search for the next person to take the FBI director's position. Yeah. What?
So for all those years that they went after Clinton for fucking lying about a blowjob. And here's a guy lying about meeting a fucking Russian ambassador. CNN, I think that's much, much worse.
CNN goes back and they check with some of the Trump supporters. And it's been mostly Democrats that Democrats that voted for Trump coming back and being like, shit, I shouldn't have voted for him. More and more of those people are like, fuck, I should have not done this. Now you're getting some of the Republicans. And a lot of them are also the ones that are pushing the healthcare because they realize they went, oh shit, the ACA is actually is what Obamacare is. So, fuck, I need to make sure that they don't take that away. And people are now starting to come around and going, what are we doing?
Yeah, and since our last episode, I mean, let's not even get started on the whole like pre-existing conditions.
No, I mean, I don't want to go too far into the politics, but it's
motherfucker.
I know, but it's just like, you know, how can you not talk about this shit? Like it's just, I mean, it's just to the point where it's like, what the fuck do you do now? Like, and it's not like it's affecting my life to where I'm gonna die or you're gonna die or we're not gonna have any money or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's to the point where you sit there and you go, why the fuck did these people vote him in the first place? So
because they scared him from the boogeyman of fucking Arabs and Mexicans, and I think we had enough of that.
Let's go to commercial.
Let's go. We'll be back while you're masturbating. We'll be back with more dick and fart jokes.
It's May.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc. 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds? Necrophilia. It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore.
I am, in the most sincerest of senses, disappointed in you.
It takes a powerful goddess like Connie, jam her arm down the monster's throat and kill it. Oh, I'm still tripping out over that. Even as a kid, I was like, I gotta find a girl like that. Every week, I get a new look of disappointment that I never thought I could get out of her.
Unimaginable. At 12 years old, you should not be watching this movie.
Obviously.
At 13, you should not be. 14, you shouldn't be. I'm not entirely sure even 17-year-olds should be watching this movie.
Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. Watching this film again, I had all of this like little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history
up.
all popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped from watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was going to be a rough
How could you watch
one.
this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. Pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-n-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com. And now for listeners of Two Strangers, One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
And we're back. All right, Paul. So let's see. Let's quick fire some of the other. This is not necessarily nerdy news, but entertainment news. So they went after Colbert for calling Donald Trump's mouth Vladimir Putin's cock holster. And I'm just saying is the president. And now, obviously, that's a joke. It's a horrible, bad taste joke. But you know, said in jest. Yet the president of the United States, and I want to say I'm not making it political, but I just want to say that the president who wants to say you can grab someone by the pussy, who didn't know that he was being recorded, he can say that for real, but a joke about your dick being a cock holster, or is, that's now they want to investigate. And I'm really surprised that, I'm pretty sure we'll see the FCC kind of try to do something against Colbert, but you can't because it was bleeped out. Saying it's not a live show. They have no leg to stand on other than, the thing. They got standards and practices. I'm pretty sure CBS is probably shitting a brick or whatever, but it's just, the FCC, they're gonna go on a witch hunt against Colbert.
Here's the thing though. The FCC came out and said that they're like, no, we're not gonna go and charge Colbert with any crime. We're just doing our typical investigation of a complaint. That's it.
Whenever a complaint goes through, they have to do it.
So basically, nothing's gonna happen to him. So,
and then here we go. Cellino and Barnes.
Injury attorneys
are breaking apart.
Call 888-8888.
And those commercials, of which it's funny.
They're so catchy.
I hate those commercials.
So do I.
But you can't not sing them.
It's
30 years from now.
Yeah.
In 2047, we're gonna still be saying in the back of our head, someone's gonna go na 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 na. And you're like 888-8888.
Well, here's the thing. Like they sponsor like newscasts. They have ads on TV, radio. They even have it on. Listen to this. I'm not even shitting you. CNN on XM radio. I'm sitting here, and then they have these weird like commercials or like blind something, and what the hell is that? That snoring thing?
Sleep apnea, the BiPAP machine.
It's not that, but it's something else that they. I can't think of what the name of it is. It's got some Italian.
It's like the Vinny or the pepperoni or some shit.
Yeah, it's something that they some Italian does the commercial. But all of a sudden, like every once in a while, there's a Cellino and Barnes commercial, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh God!" Like, can you just not be on something that I'm listening to? Like seriously. Yeah. But I mean, it's.
Well, it's sort of like it reminds me of like how like car dealerships fucking advertise every commercial break. If you listen to the radio in the morning, if you listen, and even if you watch TV. Now, I don't typically. I mean, there's shows that I watch, but if you really now the stuff I watch is more of like primetime stuff,
right?
So when there's car commercials, it's for the company. It's Chevy and Buick and Ford or whatever. But during like the daytime, it's all. Come to Fusila Honda and Fusila Kia and all the. I mean, I mentioned ones here in Rochester. But, everywhere you go, I mean, I've lived in New York City, I've lived in Philadelphia, I've lived in Rochester, everywhere you go, they have, like, the local car dealerships, and they advertise every fucking commercial break. And it's like, where the fuck are these people getting the money? That's what, when you're getting fucked, when you're, like, buying a car and you get fucked because they're charging you way, that money is to go so they can play more ads so more fucking idiots can go and fucking buy from the dealership. Because it's ridiculous. If you really pay attention... And I hate commercials, you know what I'm saying? Like, I will literally mute the fucking TV when it goes to commercial if I'm paying that much of attention. But it's just, so it's like, Cellino and Barnes, I can't believe they're breaking up. But then again, they've had trouble for a while because one of them lost their license.
I actually read the story. I don't know who it is. I don't remember who did it or what. One of them filed the lawsuit, and the other one's sitting there going, I don't know why he filed the lawsuit. and then
didn't one of them say, like one of them told the client, "Don't worry, we're going to get you $5 million." I'm just making up a number. They told the client, "Don't worry, we'll get you $5 million," and like the other one said, "Where the fuck how are you making this promise that we're going to get this guy $5 million when we have no, like stop making a promise that that technically we can't keep, and all these commercials are like past judgments do not, indicate future or whatever. But it's just, one got a little too greedy. But it's going to be interesting. Like I said, 30 years from now, someone's going to go.
Cellino and Barnes.
Let me see what else. They have.
I have a new computer.
Paul has a new computer.
It's so pretty right here.
And it's his new baby.
It is. It's very beautiful.
He won't shut up about it.
Yeah, I know. I got this. Okay.
An HP Envy.
It's an Envy. It's got an i7 Pentium processor. So it is the fastest processor that you can get. Mm-hmm. The only reason I got it, my other computer, which is over there in the thing, is starting to piss me off. Mm-hmm. But number two, I do so much. We're gonna be, if I want to edit podcasts and that, you got to have something that's fast. This is pretty fast. It does a pretty good job. So I mean, that's why I need it. Also, if we stream, like if we ever stream things for the Toonami Faithful podcast, I can do that through here.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I love my little baby because I pretty much like the laptop that we record on now was the laptop like I got right before you joined the podcast. So the laptop has like 2 weeks seniority on you. But Paul has a new laptop. Okay, we passed the Cinco de Mayo, and I think it.
I love how like there's like as you're talking, it's getting louder.
Yeah.
And louder. Somebody doesn't want us to record, I guess.
I think any person who calls Cinco de Mayo Cinco de Drinko.
Cinco de Drinko.
Yeah, I heard that.
Who the fuck says that?
It's the same. Look, I didn't say about. I didn't mention about the people who went to altitude. So let's just say these are lame motherfuckers who drink Coronas and they go out on fucking Cinco de Mayo and they're not of Mexican descent. They're not even of Spanish descent. They're a lot more paler than that. And they go, oh, Cinco de Drinko, fucking amateur hour, going out on a Friday night, Cinco de Mayo. I kept my dumb ass home, and it's just anyone who says Cinco de Drinko should be punched in the fucking face, or should be hit like a pinata.
You know what it sounds like right now? It sounds like there's like a helicopter over the house, and they're like waiting for us to come out the door or something. Please come out here now, please. See, this is what makes the podcast entertaining. That's why you should fucking tune in, you fucking pieces of shit. Yeah, I'm pointing at the fucking mic.
But they had leaked episodes of Netflix's Orange is the New Black.
It was a hacker.
And I certainly haven't watched them. Wink,
Bullshit.
Wink. Nudge,
Bullshit.
nudge.
I honestly...
It's not a bad season. I mean, and it's not really spoilers, but I guess if you don't want to hear spoilers, you may want to... the last we left the season, there was the cops had killed... The prison guards had accidentally killed Pusey, and I said spoiler alerts, so don't say anything. And it was sort of like a Michael Brown sort of deal, like where they were kneeling on her chest or whatever, and not Michael Brown, but one of those, it was echoing the racial climate of the time where a cop was kneeling on somebody, didn't know what kind of pressure was going on, and killed them. Except this was inside a jail, so it was a correction officer kneeling on an inmate's chest, a woman's chest, a girl's. I don't say girl, she's a woman, and she couldn't breathe. So the fucking prison breaks out into a fucking riot, and so. This whole season, or at least the 10 episodes that were leaked, it's basically the aftermath of the riot. It's like the inmates take over the prison, and it's sort of them running their own prison, sort of a deal. And they take some officers hostage, and I mean I could say that, and I don't think that's necessarily spoiling anything, but it's an interest. So like this whole season, it's about them. The inmates running what they say, the inmates have taken over the asylum, so it's not bad.
The helicopters landed, by the way.
It ends after episode, and I think there's like 3 more episodes. I think it's 13 episodes a season, and they only leaked 10. But it ends like the way it ends. Like I kind of wanna, and I heard, now this is a rumor I heard that when the episodes finally do come to Netflix, Netflix is gonna watch the people who had subscriptions. And if you jump straight to episode 11, they're gonna like fine you or something like that, because if you already saw the first 10 episodes, you went to fucking you went to a torrent site or whatever and downloaded the first 10 episodes. You already saw the first 10 episodes. Why are you gonna watch them again on Netflix? So I think they go, if you jump straight to episode 11, you go into your Netflix queue and you don't watch episodes 1 through 10. They can.
They're not gonna fine you.
They're gonna put you on a list or something like that. They're gonna say, "You fucking thief." Or something. That's a rumor I heard, but that'd be interesting.
About that one.
All right, so I think the biggest news, or the biggest nerdy news from the past 2 weeks, and it feels like forever ago because it was right before the last episode. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Did you see it?
No.
But
I saw. No.
Every fucking.
I actually finally watched the first one the other day.
Wow. I mean, well, part one is fucking like
it was good. It was pretty good.
It was one of the best fucking movies ever made. I don't know. That's you. Look, as a miserable, jaded prick as I am,
I would say it gets awesome. About maybe an 8 out of 10. I wouldn't go farther than that.
Was it 9.9 out of fucking
Spider-Man 2 in the original trilogy gets a 10, like almost a 10.
Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and once again, let's just say spoilers because I don't want to have to fucking censor myself. So spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I loved it, but now here's the deal. I would say this movie's a 9.5, and I'm mad because I was expecting a 9.9. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it to be better. But that being said, it's not a bad movie. All right, let's get some complaints out of the way. One, I fucking hate Baby Groot. There was no reason to have Baby Groot in the movie other than to be, he's cute. He's the Minions. He's for all the fucking girlfriends who go to the movie. Their boyfriend dragged them out there so the girlfriends can go, oh, and it's for all the fucking kids. So the kids, it's to sell fucking merchandise. It's
supposed to be a kids movie, but yes.
But I'm just saying is that it was cute for no fucking reason. Yes, there's a couple times where they use his smallness to their advantage, but they could have rewrote it and it could have been Rocket doing the things they need someone small. It was nothing other than a fucking bullshit ploy to have a cute little character run around and act aggressive even though get angry and try to fight even though it can't fight. And it was so fucking stupid. This movie, I mean, come on. The star of the movie, and this is not a bad, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying is the first movie, the star of the movie was Star-Lord. It was Chris Pratt. This movie, even though the movie's about Chris Pratt, it was like Chris Pratt had the weakest fucking storyline in the movie. Like I can give two shits about Chris Pratt and his story arc. Everyone else's story arc in this movie was better. Drax's story arc. They introduced Ego, the living planet, which is Star-Lord's dad, and he's sort of like he was just this brain floating out in space and started to materialize a planet around him, which became Ego. And then he kept over millions and millions of years he kind of created his own avatar, which was the Kurt Russell character, and he wants to have children. So he goes to millions of planets and fucks an alien from each different race to see if he can fucking have a kid or something like that. Well, he wants to see if he could have a kid that has the same power that he has, if he could pass on the genes of and so he fucks all types of weird looking aliens. And then finally he fucks the one alien that looks like he makes himself look like a human. He fucks literally hundreds of thousands of women or whatever aliens. None of the kids have his power. He kills the kids. And then and Star-Lord is the first one to have the power. That's why in the end of episode 1 and the end of the first one he can hold the Infinity Gem.
I mean, if I may, because I did see that one. That one was kind of a little flawed too, because he was starting to burn up, and then the other Guardians were holding as they held him, he was able to stabilize. Yeah. But he looked like he was about to die.
Well, that's all. I mean, it's saying any other human would have died instantly. He has some power in him, and so and I get the Kurt Russell thing, but they spent way too much time on that whole storyline. They could have condensed it. They could have just said, look, you're my son, this and this and that. Then they find out that he's been killing, he kills all his kids because all of his kids none of his kids can pass on his power, so he just kills them. You have the Gamora storyline where Gamora and Nebula, that was an interesting storyline because Nebula is supposed to be just straight bad guy, but then you almost feel bad for her because they were saying that, Thanos used to make Gamora and them fight, and Nebula just couldn't win because Gamora just was a better fighter. You kept kicking my ass. But she's like, yeah, I'm going to kick your ass because I'd rather Dad rip you apart and put in cybernetic parts as opposed to me. Saying Gamora was just surviving and Nebula's like, you never let me win one fight. So it takes a bad guy and makes him good. And then, once again, super duper spoiler alert, when Yondu fucking dies, Yondu who's supposed to be a bad guy, and then it turns out that when they're like, oh, how come Yondu never brought Star-Lord, to his father? It was because Yondu knew his father was a bad guy. Yondu, he said, yeah, I'm going to threaten, I'm going to eat you and stuff like that, but he just did that to fucking keep the kid in check. And so when Yondu finally fucking dies, he dies, he's like the bad guy who, then it's the Darth Vader revelation, like, I am your father, And so, like, all of these people have great arcs. And Peter Quill, the Star-Lord, is like, oh, here, your dad kind of gave you power, but he killed a bunch of kids.
Well, in Avengers Infinity War, or whatever it's going to be called, he'll be able to go back to Earth, it seems like, for at least a little bit.
Well, no, in the movie they explain it. It's not that he can't go to Earth, he doesn't want to go to Earth. Because after his mother died, he was sort of like, and then once again, super duper revelation, it was Ego that gave her the tumor. Because he was like, I don't want to go back to... Even the father was like, I love your mom. I don't want to go back to the planet. I gave her a tumor. So I killed her so I won't have a reason to make me go back to Earth or whatever. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I mean, it's typical bad guys. Not typical, but I'm just saying, it's the bad guy plot. He's going to take over the universe and he wants to have an heir and all this other bullshit. But, it just kind of got, like I said, Peter's storyline was the worst. Drax stole the fucking movie. They know how to, Bautista and those, Bautista's been in a bunch of movies. And he sort of always kind of plays the same character, and he has no charisma or whatever. Right. Then they put him in Guardians of the Galaxy. They give him the right lines. It's not like he's a bad actor. He's a good actor. Well, he's good at being funny, and they write good scenes for him. Like you could, like, Dave Bautista should keep working for James Gunn and say, look, I'm only going to work in movies that you write for me because.
Can I give you something that's hilarious about this?
What's that?
CM Punk did some of the Drax comic books. One of those is actually free if you got tickets from Regal. It says CM Punk on it. So one wrestler's writing a comic book about the guy that's actually the guy in the movie.
Wrestler that's a... I mean, I'm just saying, I was more interested. I think Drax had the best storyline through the whole movie. And of course, like I said, I feel bad for Yondu. I feel bad for Nebula. And that's what a good movie makes you feel bad for the bad guys. A lot of great action. Once again, like I said, it just dragged in the middle. I think had they cut out a bit of the Ego storyline and got rid of Baby Groot, they should have had, because spoiler alert. Once again, I guess by this part, like at the end, one of the end credit scenes is Groot as a teenager.
I saw that.
So that was kind of funny. They should have did that during the movie. They should have had. Okay, and I get you. I get it. Have Baby Groot in the movie. He's starting, and then have him become a teenager. Have him become a fucking. Teenagers become a pain in the ass. They rebel. They start doing things that they're not supposed to do. Where at the end of the movie, you're like,
I love how like he all of a sudden starts to like understand what he's saying.
Yeah. That Peter Quill starts understanding what he's saying. And then the biggest revelation, the one part that everyone cheered, was fucking Stan Lee with the Watchers. Like that blew my fucking mind, because that was always a theory that people always thought Stan Lee is a Watcher. He's not necessarily he's not the Watcher, but that, he's in the Watchers. And then the one theory that everyone has is, I could have sworn he said I was the FedEx guy, but every video that I watched online about it, he goes, I'm the delivery man. Well, at the end of Captain America Civil War, he's the delivery man asking for Tony Stank. But then again, there is, when he does his cameo in Fox's Fantastic Four, he's a postman. So people are saying that sort of, in a weird roundabout way, links both those universes. Yeah. Where he was, which postman are they talking about? Was it Postman from Fantastic Four or the Postman from the end of Captain America Civil War? So, but seeing Stan Lee with the Watchers, like, it's like, okay, we're all waiting for the fucking other shoe to drop. We're all waiting for the news one day that Stan Lee dies. It's going to happen eventually. At least
he's getting up there.
At least they got this one cameo that says, and from what I understand, I believe they've recorded scenes with him. They know what they want to do with him in the next couple of movies. So they've already recorded like shit that they need that they could work into the rest of the movies, right, even after he dies. Should he pass away, Carrie Fisher, like the same reason, like not the same way Carrie Fisher, but like they have to rewrite episode 9 for Star Wars because Carrie Fisher isn't around anymore. But at least they have, from what I understand, they've recorded bits and pieces for Stan Lee, because even in Guardians of the Galaxy, Stan Lee is talking to the Watchers. The Watchers are all CGI, so you can just sit in front of a blue green screen and say, okay, say this line, and then we'll put it in the movie. And, and of course they know the people behind the scenes know where the story arc is going. They know, who's going to die, what movies are they going to continue. Obviously they're going to, continue on with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Black Panther and Captain Marvel. And, they're going to retire the Thor, and, they're going to retire Captain America. They're going to retire Iron Man, find a reason to not have movies with them, not them being the stars of the movies. They may make a cameo, but, they're going to kind of fall, that wave is going to go away. And so, planning for the future. So I believe they've already filmed like Stan Lee's cameos for the next couple of movies.
Well, I have to kind of stop you there. They're supposed to. There's a thought that at least Thor, Captain America should have died in Civil War, but that's neither here nor there. That they're probably going to die, but then they're going to be brought back because of the gauntlet.
The Infinity Gauntlet, yeah.
So,
the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos, I mean, it's not really, Thanos kills half the universe to impress Lady Death, they kind of changed the storyline, but it's going to be the woman, Hela from Thor. She's not really Death, but they're going to have her be the Death character that Thanos wants to impress, so he impresses her by killing half the universe with the Infinity Gauntlet. All right, let's see. So as of the last episode, we were trying to sign up for our New York Comic Con press pass. They haven't written me back
this
yet.
Guy was.
What was that?
This guy.
You got approved?
No, I haven't gotten mine
I was about to say,
yet.
you haven't even applied yet?
Let me explain this. So I have to wait till this guy right here gets approved, and then once I know he gets approved, then I will apply because I need to make sure that you get in. Because if you don't get in, I have no place to stay, and then I got to shell out money even if I were to get approved. And I think Chris would get pissed at me if he didn't get to go down. So.
Just if anything, you going for a day, and then I going for a day. My name's Paul Pasquillo. My name's Matt Cartelli. No, Matt would have a heart attack, I think, if we took his press pass.
Matt got approved instantly.
What I'm saying is, what if we said, Matt, let's use your pass, but you got to stay home?
Oh, he would have a heart attack.
He would have a fucking heart attack.
He would have a heart attack.
Okay, little quick shoots of nerdy news. They've announced a Judge Dredd themed TV show. Not necessarily saying that Judge Dredd is going to be in it, but it will focus on the Mega City.
That'll be an interesting.
The judges from Mega City. I mean, it's a TV show, so with the budget, that's going to be a little
sci-fi. I'm going to be honest with you, sci-fi, unless it's like something comic book related, is not doing really well these days. I'm kind of a little concerned about the new Star Trek series coming out, which kind of doesn't relate to Judge Dredd, but Judge Dredd is a sci-fi movie, so it's probably going to be a lot of CGI, a lot of that stuff in a TV series. So it's like,
yeah, but I think a Star Trek, not that you don't need CGI, of course you need CGI, but they're. I mean, if it's anything, I mean, of course I'm basing it mostly on the Next Generation type episodes where it's going to be focused more on like the drama than special effects, and if you could get good CGI, which of course the CGI today is thousands times better than it was back in '89 or whatever, then yeah, it's going to make, it's going to look good. But I mean, I wonder, because with Mega City, I guess if you could have a show like Battlestar Galactica, which, had okay special effects, as long as if you write a good story, I think, and that comic book has been around for a long time. If they kind of stay true to the comic and there's a million different judges, they don't necessarily need Judge Dredd, or at least, have Judge Dredd be like a character that you only see a couple of times a season, where everyone else is in his shadow, you know what I'm saying? Because then you could have young, attractive people.
Or maybe have him as it's kind of like a legend, and you do see him. If you really wanted to get really awesome with this, you would use Sylvester Stallone. I'm just saying.
No, you use fucking Carl Urban. You use
that.
Well, Carl Urban.
I never saw that version, by the way.
It's not a bad movie. And the whole thing is, when they mentioned the show, he retweeted it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wants either, I'm pretty sure he'll be some sort of executive producer, but that's the whole thing. Let him, don't make him the star. Let him do a cameo. Let him do a couple episodes, or he shows up a couple episodes, does his Judge Dredd thing, and everyone else, he comes in and just puts people in fucking check or whatever. So I think it's an interesting concept, and I think I'm much more excited about that than fucking doing the Krypton fucking the TV show about fucking Superman's grandfather.
I'm kind of excited about the Fox series Gift. The Gift. The trailer actually just came out yesterday, I think. It's Bryan Singer is the executive producer of it. It's basically based on mutants. They actually mentioned the X-Men in the trailer, but it looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that. What you have next on the list, I'm not looking forward to because of what's happening. So
all right, so they've also announced a new Hellboy. Once again, I don't know if this is a TV series or if this is going to be a movie.
It's a movie and they're rebooting it.
They're rebooting it.
Rated R.
Rated R.
Yep.
Now, with the guy from Stranger Things, the guy that played the deputy from Stranger Things.
Oh, that's so stupid.
But that's the whole thing is everybody, all the reactions I'm hearing, and don't get me wrong, I loved Hellboy 1 and I loved Hellboy 2. Like, there's people who are like, oh, Hellboy 1, and Hellboy 1 was a good movie. Hellboy 2 was fucking awesome. And the only reason I guess they didn't do a part 3 was because I guess, they lost money because it was such a, but I love Hellboy 2, The Golden Army is such a good movie. And the special effects and it's definitely a Guillermo del Toro movie and
yeah, he's not involved in this new one either.
Yeah, it's just going to be Mike Mignola. But I mean, at least Guillermo del Toro tried to get a part 3. They did an animated movie which was supposed to kind of be a part 3 where he like him and the girl have kids or something like that. Which reminds me of Shrek 3 or whatever. But I'm just saying is I'm not, everyone's already shutting this shit down. I'm not against it. I'm not against the idea of rebooting Hellboy. I think it would be interesting. And then bring it, because don't get me wrong, those movies were good, but they weren't dark. And, Hellboy is known to be a dark comic book. So I could see how doing, I hate to use the word gritty reboot, but, the Hellboy movies were kind of family friendly. And that's not a bad way. That's not a bad thing. It was kind of, it was spooky and creepy, but not horror. It wasn't, it might give a 6-year-old nightmares, but, it wasn't supposed to be horror. It was supposed to be just monsters, detective, police for monsters or whatever. Which I'm not opposed. And especially if Mike Mignola, the guy who fucking made Hellboy, is behind it, I mean,
see what happens.
More power to him. Yeah. All right, so we got a trailer for The Defenders.
I've seen it.
The Netflix now, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Daredevil. I think this is only going to be a 10-episode series. Good. So we don't have to need filler episodes and waste a lot of time with bullshit.
It has potential.
I like the vibe of the trailer. It's weird because I can't really speak because I've only seen Daredevil season 1. I haven't seen any other fucking Netflix shows. But
I gotta watch those.
But the trailer looks good. You know what I'm saying? I'm psyched for it. If it happens to someone leaking on Fall Bus, like Orange Is the New Black, I wouldn't. And I guess if I looked really hard, I could watch Daredevil season 2 and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
I got no time.
Okay.
And lastly,
then the last one, and here's one that's near and dear to my heart, Stephen King's The Dark Tower. Now, this movie does not take place in Stephen King's The Dark Tower. This is sort of a continuation. Now, here's a big, gigantic spoiler, so if you don't want to hear anything, cover your ears in the next minute. The Dark Tower ends at the beginning. When literally the last line of the last book is the first line from the first book. The whole adventure starts from the beginning. The gunslinger ran across the desert and the man in black not far behind him or something like that. That's the line. That being said, you can't put the Dark Tower... If they were to do a proper Dark Tower series, it would be in the same line of a Harry Potter or a Game of Thrones. You can't put it in one movie. You can't even try to put it in one movie because there's way too much shit that's going on. There's all these characters, the gunslinger, and the whole thing is that our reality, if you want to call it the reality, our reality exists in the Dark Tower world. He lives in the Dark Tower world. He comes and there's people who somehow make it there, through some sort of magic or whatever, make their way over to our world. He takes in a little boy. He takes in this black lady she's mental, so she's when she's bipolar, so when she's one character, then
this is in the book.
This is in the book.
Oh, okay.
There's a guy that's an alcoholic who he kind of trains to be the next gunslinger. They have a little weird dog that has a long neck and bulgy yellow eyes. It's called a Billy Bumbler. All I gotta not the last book, but this on the 6th book, they are literally in Emerald City from the Wizard of Oz, fighting an army of Doctor Dooms from Fantastic Four, and the Doctor Dooms all have the golden snitches from fucking from Harry Potter. So, and I mean, this is legit. Like, he calls it Doctor Doom. He doesn't say a guy with a Doctor Doom face. He's Doctor Doom, and they are fighting in Emerald City with golden snitches around. This would be, if they were to do the movie correctly, it would be the most psycho, fucking drug-addled fucking movie. Now, don't get me wrong, it could be done, but you would have to go, we're making these movies, and we're going to be making these movies for the next 8 years, 9 years, 10, because there's like 7 books, but you know, you go space it, even if you can't space them out one every year because the movies are too fucking ridiculous. Or if they did something like with like I guess, you know, Game of Thrones is based on like what, 7 books and stuff like that. So I guess, you know, they would have to make it into an entire season, which they could do, and they have the special. If they could do Game of Thrones, they could do a true to life Dark Tower. That being said, the movie looks fucking fantastic. Idris Elba as the fucking gunslinger is fucking fantastic. You know, of course, a lot of people like, you know, because when you read the books, the gunslinger is supposed to be. They don't say it, but they kind of say it's supposed to be Clint Eastwood. It's Clint Eastwood it's like Clint Eastwood, not in his prime, but Clint Eastwood like a little past his prime, like Unforgiven era Clint Eastwood. And the funny thing is, he wrote these books before Clint Eastwood got to that point. But, you know, it's supposed to be a guy that, like, in his prime was a fucking badass, but now is past his prime. You know, they could, you know, you could get all, you know, get fucking Scott Eastwood, get the son, you know, get Clint Eastwood's son to fucking play the gunslinger. But I mean, I like what they did with Idris Elba, you know, Matthew McConaughey. And the whole thing is, Matthew McConaughey is known for being like not a pretty boy, but, you know, real charming, charismatic. And the whole thing
you don't usually see him as a villain.
Well, that's the whole thing is, in these books, the bad guy is charming. You know what I'm saying? He's a bad guy, but, and not that like you don't feel good for him, but I'm just saying, you know, he could talk a girl out of her panties because he's got it like that. He's the bad guy. He does it more for just like kicks, shits, and giggles. So I'm excited. I think, you know. There's a couple of things in the trailer where they, you know, there's one of the books where they fight a fucking 50-foot bear that has a satellite coming out of its head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know, I mean, obviously they can't put that in this movie, but it would be great if they did or found a way to fucking at least hint towards it. But I'm super excited for it. All right, so is that it? Let me see.
That is it.
That is it. I mean, everything else, you know.
Hopefully you're listening.
Fucking fidget spinners. Fucking fidget spinners.
Did you see that gift I put up where like they spin all the fidget spinners and then he throws them in the garbage?
He puts them in the garbage. Yeah.
My son has one and I'm just like,
I'm not gonna lie, I have one. I got one. I saw it in Walmart. I bought it or whatever, and you know, it does what it does, and it's like, you know, it reminds me of like fucking slap bracelets, or, you know, a couple years ago everyone had the fucking the goofy bands or whatever, those, you know, or the girl couple, like right after the goofy bands, people were doing the looms. Remember, like looming bracelets, you know. I mean, if you want to take this back to fucking Silly Putty, I mean, Silly Putty was like, they were trying to make like a military application and ended up making Silly Putty. Fucking the Slinky was another mistake. These were things that like, these were springs that they were going to throw in the fucking garbage, and they fell off a fucking shelf, and the guy saw the way they fell, and so it was a toy. You know, the Silly Putty was a fucking mistake. Like I said, they were trying to build something else and ended up making that. They were trying to build like a cheaper rubber or something like that. So, you know, it's one of those things. You know, our kids play with them. When they grow up, it's going to be one of those. Remember when we had stupid fucking fidget spinners? Yes, yeah, so this is one of those things. So, okay.
I think that's it.
That's it. So please visit twostrangersonePodcast.net, where you can find all things show related first and foremost. And I checked, just to let you know, I checked the email. We didn't have an Oscar letter. Oscar, write us. Come on, man. I miss the hate.
One of these days I'm gonna read all this information.
We had a bunch of episodes without Jen. You can come back. Please visit twostrangersonePodcast.net, where you can find all things show related. You can find links to our iTunes page, where if you have an iPhone, an iPad, or iPod, who the fuck has an iPod anymore? But if you do, you can download us and subscribe to us on iTunes. If you don't have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod, you can subscribe to us on the Stitcher app. Stitcher is the app that I use to download my podcast. I put on the listen later option and the available offline option. So when I come to Paul's house, or I go to McDonald's, or I go to the public library, I download all the episodes to my phone, or until I fill up the fucking space, and listen to them later without killing my battery or my data. And, you know, Chris Hardwick's The Nerdist, Kevin Smith's Modcast, This American Life, Adam Carolla, and of course, Paul's other baby, the Toonami Faithful podcast, is available on the Stitcher app. Also available for Android and Apple devices is our hosting site, the people who I directly upload our files to, SoundCloud. And
which, by the way, if you listen to the podcast on SoundCloud, you can actually comment as you're listening to it. We would love to see some of that as well.
Yeah, and the same thing like when we do the live stream. It's sort of, if you want to comment, just come on and comment.
Yeah, damn straight.
And so on SoundCloud, and I realized it was my fault. I wasn't setting up the options for people to be able to download the episodes. I've changed that now.
Corner.
What? It's not my fault. It should be automatically you'd be able to download it.
No, they don't do that.
I mean, I guess so, but I mean, my thing is, who's... I mean, I guess maybe who's that protective? You make a podcast, you put it out there. You want people to download it. Why would you not want people to download it? You know, you want people to sit there and have to watch, listen to it on their app. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, I do.
No, I don't. Oh, I don't know.
It's probably 13 wham.
So yeah, we are available on the Stitcher app. If you want to write us, you can write us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that's twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. Like Oscar has in the past and has verbally abused me, but I kind of, you know, like a fucking like a woman who's been in a bad relationship. I miss the abuse afterwards. I like, you know, he loved me. And now
my God! Why did you just say that?
You crave the negative attention or whatever. But you can write to us.
Yes, verbally abuse me again.
You can write to us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/twostrangersonePodcast. Like and subscribe our page. We want your money. We need your money. But if you can't give us a dime, it takes 2 seconds. 2 fucking seconds to click the stupid little fucking like button or the subscribe button. And just share and let people know that you listen to the podcast.
Just share.
We're on Twitter at Stranger Podcast. If you're going to be on Facebook, we also have a Two Strangers One Podcast Network group. Two Strangers One Podcast Network. That's the actual name of the
Facebook.com/Toonami Two Strangers One Podcast. I almost said Toonami.
Toonami Strangers One Faithful Podcast.
Oh God.
And that's it. Oh yeah. And for the episodes that you can't find, because we've only gone back about 10 or 15 episodes online, because I haven't had Wi-Fi in my house yet. You can go back. You can go on YouTube and search for every single fucking episode of Two Strangers in One Podcast. We're on there. You can find my Stranger vlogs. I've done about 30 of them. I still have plans to do more. I just haven't had a chance to do them because
I might do some, but it's going to be Toonami related.
And so Paul wants to do a Stranger vlog, or he maybe do his own vlog or something like that. But if so, if he wants to put it on our YouTube page, you can do that. I can't tell you to click and like.
I have a better YouTube.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you to like and subscribe. I can't tell you to click the ads. I can't tell you to like the videos. But I can ask you to like them. I can't tell you to click the ads. But if you did, it would be very helpful. And that's it. I acquiesce the floor to you, sir.
So you can find me on Twitter at Paul Pascrillo. You can ask me questions. It's ask.fm/Paul Pascrillo. You can browse some pictures. Instagram.com/Paul Pascrillo. And if you want to just email me and tell me how great I am or how much Chris sucks and please replace him, even though this isn't my podcast, Paul Pascrillo at ToonamiFaithful.com. So, and yeah. And by the way, watch Samurai Jack, the final episode this weekend coming up on Toonami at 11 p.m. You must, or you die.
If this episode gets out in time. Nah, it should. Alright, so we certainly hope you enjoyed listening and had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
Don't be a stranger.
Peace. We're out.
Bye! And it's National Masturbation Month.
You should be
Fapping.
Just hit the end button, please. So you can do what you need to do. At the end button.
See, that's what happens. They don't want to give us ass, so we end up masturbating. That's what happens.
The opinions of Chris Cologne do not.
You wonder why your
reflect.
man lasts like 3 minutes in bed because he jerks off every day because you don't give him the pussy that you're supposed to give him.
And you're worried about your family.
If you gave him pussy on a regular basis, he wouldn't have to jerk off, and because when we jerk off, we just want to get it over with. So we jerk off quick. We jerk off quick and say, "Let me get this out of the way. Get the demons out." And then you wonder when the time comes to actually fuck the guy.
I'm gonna get up and hit the end button.
Why he comes after 3 minutes? Because he's had years of training of masturbating. Had you just
do I need to get up and hit the end
needs,
button? I swear to God,
he would last longer than 3 to 4 minutes. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
Don't be a stranger.
I'm sorry, guys.
You should be fapping.
Hopefully not on here. I hate you.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne smells good to me.
But
look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia is spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
Yeah, it
man.
is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show, I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it, that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his comic books, heavy metal, video games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I
and
will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could saw them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonepodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
So we do a podcast. Nobody's watching this anyway, so. Oh, you'll all be crying when I'm dead. Remember. Don't wait till after I'm dead. I'm like, oh, I love this show. I listen to it all the time. Where the fuck are you viewers now? Just remember that. From beyond the grave.
Do we need podcast therapy here or something? Do I need to get Darrell on the show?
All I'm saying is I don't want to fucking hear all the hypocrites come out after I'm fucking dead saying, oh, I listened to this podcast. You're so funny. No, fuck them. All right.
What the hell is wrong with
Here we go. I should have saved that for the show.
Oh my god.